Yeah, I agree. There's too much to learn in red teaming. What is the best way to develop interest in the blue team, like SOC analyst L1? Almost there is repetitive work sitting in the front of. See, never be afraid of repetitive work. This is one of the issue in our current generation. We need change all the time. We don't have patience anymore. You need to build that patience into you because in order to grow, you need to do this repetitive things multiple times. Keep doing it again and again and again and again and again. Even then, you will not be an expert. Yes, you are doing the things repeatedly, but one small change and you will shake up. What should I do now? Because you have been doing things in a repeated way. So keep doing it and keep learning, keep practicing, keep, I would say, evolving yourself, even if you're doing the same thing. Somebody who is part of the red teaming, somebody who's part of the blue teaming, create your own scenarios. Something I do, I lead simulations for different organizations. What if A happens? What can you do? Then B happens, then C happens, then D happens. Then check, stress test yourself, your own system, your own documentation, your own process. Is it still working fine? If the answer is yes, amazing, you have done a good job. But if the answer is no, then see what can you do to change it. I just want to move on because we don't have that much time. There's a video I wanted to show.
These guys are good. Let's get to work. Oh, a little startup with a great idea. Their target, a ProPass. Offices in 12 countries, 5,000 staff. You'd think they'd be secure, wouldn't you? Make some noise. Pause. A smokescreen. A decoy breach to hide what they're really after. Confidential information hidden in the depths of the system.
Still here?
The computer's crashed.
We're in a club. See you Monday.
It's okay for some.
Right now, the chances are someone, somewhere, is attacking you. And you don't even know it.
Okay, chaps, we're in.
I bet you're wondering how they got this far.
Give us a smile.
Lovely.
She's in.
Sensitive passwords and system details from a keystroke logger hidden under a desk for 6 months.
You got it?
Easy.
These guys, they know it all. Except, a few weeks earlier, a ProBass were hit by a smaller breach. It made the board stop and think how vulnerable they were. So they brought in the experts. It's never just an IT issue. They carried out cybersecurity training from boardroom to basement, identifying what was critical to the business. Threat and intelligence monitoring. They planned a cyber incident response and brought in their own ethical hackers to test the systems and make honeypots to trap the attackers. They reviewed the whole business from New York to Tokyo and devised a game plan for any breach.
Make some noise.
Pause.
We're in.
It's a denial of service attack. We're just monitoring the situation.
Have they got into any accounts?
Very clever. Someone else bangs on the windows, or you? I
hide in the cellar.
They're onto us.
I'll try blocking them. Is it working? I don't know. Well, I need to know, Gil. Is it working? Lena, launch a worm.
These guys are good. They're really good.
They're blocking us. Try again. They're blocking us! Try again!
Straight to me. Gotcha. Good, but not good enough.
You're okay. Traffic's blocked.
You can win, but there's always a next time.
Who's next?
Kobashi Tech.
Criminals just get smarter,
Who have we got for the smoke screen? Take your pick.
and they're everywhere. A breach will happen, and when it does, will you be ready?
So, a breach will happen eventually. Will you be ready? That's the biggest question. Whatever we saw in this video covers three different aspects. From technical perspective, you saw the SOC having preventive measures and then responding to the incident or the attack which was happening. Then you had the management involved. What was the management doing? They have no idea about technology or technical stuff, what we are doing, right? But their role is to make sure they give you the right direction, the right decisions, and they empower you to do the right thing by giving you the right investment, the right resources, the right tools. It is your job, it is my job today to go and convince the C level of my organization so that they can invest in these resources. It will be your responsibility in the future to go and talk to the teams that what we should do to make sure we prevent ourselves, and if something goes wrong, how to protect ourselves and safeguard ourselves. Whatever you saw right now, we typically call it cybersecurity incident management. Prepare, detect and analyze, contain, eradicate and recover, and then perform a post-incident post-mortem. These are the four phases by the NIST incident response lifecycle. Any incident which happens in any organization, you need to make sure you are ready. The moment it happens, detect it. The better your detection controls are going to be, you have better chance that you will be able to fight and mitigate and restrict the impact. So contain, once you contain, eradicate means eliminate the entire threat and recover. Once you have done all of those, then do a post-mortem. How did the attack happen? How did the security breach happen? How the malware came, how the virus happened, whatever it was the cause of the incident or disruption, do your proper assessment. What went wrong? What was it what we were not doing correctly? So this is basically the overall concept of cybersecurity incident management. But then there's something else as well. Now, what is that?
The internet has opened up a world of opportunities for businesses like ours. Businesses at the cutting edge of technology. We know the world's most high-profile companies inside out. Companies like yours. Who are we? Your worst nightmare.
Wave of attacks on businesses worldwide. Criminals have launched yet another malicious attack on... Well, I think he's here.
I've got nothing to
Do you
say.
think your position's sustainable, sir?
I've got no comment to make.
You think your shareholders are going to make it this
I said we don't know the full extent of the intrusion.
How long will you be offline?
Do you have systems in place to stop this from happening?
Our security protocols have been breached by what I can only describe as a highly sophisticated cyber attack.
I can't take all the credit. We had a little help from Jim.
Oh, hello.
One of your managers.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Jim kindly loaded our keylogger into his PC. Before catching up on some emails, giving us direct access to his mailbox and password. Jim's giving us a lot of information. Access to business contacts, emails from work colleagues. Jim's the outgoing type. Hello, Ali in IT. You look like a privileged user.
Hello. Hi, yes, this is Ellie. Okay, thank you. Yeah, no problem.
I think I'm in there. Well, thanks, Sally, for welcoming our custom malware into your system. We're looking forward to working closely alongside you over the next few months. There's no hurry. We have all the time in the world. After all, no one knows we're there.
We shouldn't be able to reach the live environment from here. But then why complain if we can?
I bet the vulnerability testing doesn't apply to the internal servers. Thought not.
Default password. Who forgets to change that?
We have access to all your networks. We're in the database, mapping systems, circumnavigating firewalls across the business. Oh, and did I mention, we're going global on this one?
Je l'enverrai tout de suite. Merci.
We can organize the research and development from this end. Can you forward me the contract that I've
Victor Battier.
そうですね、社内の方からの、承認が下りるまでは他の方にちょっと、
Intellectual property, confidential documents, personal and financial data belonging to thousands of people throughout your business, from anywhere in the world. We know your secrets.
So how long has this been going on?
This may have been going on for some time.
What are the cost implications of the attack?
He doesn't know what's hit him, or his business. IT are trying to work it out. All systems stay offline for days while they assess the extent of the attack. PR are working overtime on damage limitation.
No, I understand. Let's take the chance.
Then there's the emergency board meeting. Powerless as the share price falls. As customers and investors abandon ship, the board realize that the game has changed. They thought they knew the risks.
How did this happen? Who the hell is responsible?
Working at the heart of your business has been an invaluable experience. Good to know the door's always open.
Right. What did we see here? The threat is everywhere. The threat is imminent and will always hit you. You need to manage yourself, otherwise, you will be impacted. The example which you saw in this video, sometimes like when we see these things in, I would say, Hollywood movies, we say, oh, this is just a script, or this is just like a movie, or this doesn't happen like this in real life. I would tell you it does. In 2013, when I was in Qatar, the Ministry of IT in Qatar itself, during the Eid al-Adha holidays, they had 8 total days off. The second day of the Eid, every single government website and portal of the Qatar government was totally out, total down. The person who was responsible, or I would say in charge for the entire technology operations, he was not in the country because he was out for vacation. Everybody was sleeping because they were hit by a malware which was never detected before. It took them 16 days to completely recover every single system and every single, let's say, service back to normal. Why? Because the infection which was there, it allowed the hackers to enter the system and stay in their systems for almost 4.5 months. For the entire 4.5 months, what they were doing, they were footprinting, they were making sure they are going through the data, going through the activities of different people, identifying who is critical, who has the authority, who are decision makers, what emails are sensitive, what systems are critical. They did the entire research with very ample amount of time because nobody knew they are there. It allowed them to launch the attack on the specific day when they wanted, and nobody could stop them. A similar attack happened in Saudi Aramco in 2015, I believe so, when almost 1,000 computers, the data was completely encrypted and they lost the entire data. They were very fortunate that the IT and OT environments were totally segregated. So the impact was not that much or not drastic, and nobody outside the world, like other than the people who understand these issues, nobody else knew. But if you go deep a bit further, only 2 years ago in Iran, there was a blast in one of the area where they were, uh, I think it was the drilling operations of an oil refinery. From the news perspective, it was just a blast. But for all the cybersecurity professionals, the research documents and every data which was then revealed later on, it was very clear it was a cyber attack. So a cyber attack ensured the pipes or the drilling equipment or the sensors which are supposed to detect and report to the right teams, those malfunctioned, they increased the pressure, and eventually the entire thing burst. So cybersecurity is not just limited to my technology, my servers, my data centers, and my activities which I see from my ERP or software perspective. It is playing role everywhere. Today, cybersecurity is playing a role in safeguarding your country, safeguarding your nukes, safeguarding your security systems, safeguarding your space technologies, your rockets, your satellites, every single thing you can think of. Today, technology has the capability and the capacity to generate an artificial tsunami wherever they want, whenever they want. So, who can protect it? It's the cybersecurity professionals. How can you do it? If you are technically strong, you are a technical person, of course, you will be the one on the operations side. But if you are the management person, you are going to perform this work from governance perspective, from decision making perspective, from policies perspective, to make sure everybody is doing the right thing, following the protocols, following the procedures, following the SOPs. This is where risk management comes into picture a lot. You need to identify the risk and make sure you do the right thing. Identify your assets, whatever they are. The assets can be simple technology assets, can be all your equipment. Everywhere you have information or anywhere you can retrieve information or you can access the system. Identify all possible threats on them and analyze the consequence in case that threat materializes. This consequence gives you the idea if something goes wrong, what will be the impact on myself as a person, my company, my organization, my city, my country. Then you need to define how much of the consequence or the impact I am willing to accept. If you are willing to accept the entire consequence, very good. You don't have to do anything else. But if you think that no, this is too much for me, I cannot tolerate, or the organization might say, if some threat happens, for example, I might lose $5 million, but their appetite or their willingness to accept a risk is only $1 million. Means they are exceeding with their appetite for $4 million. So they need to do something. They can't just sit hand in hand. So they need to identify what are the possible mitigations. What can we do to reduce the threat or reduce the consequence itself? This is all prevention, preventive measures. Once you identify the possible mitigations, then you implement the most practical, cost effective, and efficient solution to mitigate your threats. Then you, after mitigating, repeat the cycle again. Identify your new assets or existing assets, identify all new threats, analyze the consequence again, and keep doing it until and unless you have either your system is completely shut down or you move on to a new system. Because as long as the systems are up and running, the technology is there, you need to ensure cybersecurity risk management continues to be performed in a lifecycle manner. All these concepts which we learned today, typical disaster recovery to business continuity, then resilience, what is cyber resilience, incident management, risk management, all of them are very important to ensure you do the final execution. What is the final execution? Your management needs to understand completely what is crisis management. This is the concept which is totally beyond the people who are technology oriented people. This is for the senior management, the CEOs, the managing directors, the governors, the ministers, those people. They don't understand anything what you do. They don't know what your tools are, what your processes are, your procedures are. All they care about is their reputation. All they care about is their business. All they care about is my business must continue. They need to understand that they need to give you the right tools and investment to implement the right solutions for anticipating, assessing, and preparing. So this is basically the first three layers, which comes from the risk management, and then respond, recover, and review, which comes from your incident management. Combining these six steps can make sure you have a good crisis management if the management is on board on these six processes with the right policy, with the right process, right authority, right approvals, and the right mindset. These things are very important in any single organization today. Crisis management, resilience, business continuity, disaster recovery. All of these four are considered to be the pillars of any organization's existence in today's modern world. So these concepts you must learn when you go to the actual practical environment, and you must try to excel in at least one of these because these are the door to success. This is the direction for future, and this is what you need to make sure that you learn to be taken serious in the future. I would end this meeting or this session with one small video, if you allow me for 5 more minutes.
today is a day like any other. You'll set priorities. You'll assess and respond. You'll evaluate the marketplace. And you'll create opportunity where no one else is looking. Because today could be the day when the clouds roll in.
Widespread bribery in overseas operations. U.S. markets opening. Company executives
How bad is it?
must be bracing for the worst.
Today could be the day that wolves circle around.
What about shareholder value? What about
Today could be the day the barbarians storm the gates.
Talk to me.
Stock is in free fall. We're getting pummeled. Customers are asking some hard questions.
Your job doesn't change in a crisis. The stakes do.
Trouble in downtown. As we told you before the break, this remarkable story.
You have to be able to monitor, respond, and recover when today is not just another day.
Regulators allege widespread bribery in overseas operations.
Hey, here he comes! First things first. These are allegations. Allegations taken very seriously. We're conducting a thorough investigation. This one.
By being one step ahead, you'll create opportunity where no one else is looking.
Make no mistake. What we do here in the next few minutes will determine the future of this company for the next decade.
Because the actions you take today determine your survival tomorrow. So that tomorrow, when the clouds finally clear, you emerge stronger.
So the message I want to give through this video, the video showed basically 3 key areas. Number 1, business as usual. The senior person who belongs to the senior management. He woke up, just a normal day. He is doing his day-to-day activities and it's fine. Everything is fine. Nobody cares what you are doing. The media is doing their own activities. Everybody is busy in their routine. But then suddenly something goes wrong. So it's not business as usual anymore. It's the day of crisis. So the last 2 scenarios, they showed you the day of crisis when you're totally not prepared, how a business can totally go to shut down, how your reputation can go down the drain, and you will never be able to recover because you don't know what to do. You were never ready, you were never prepared, neither technically nor from management perspective. And then they showed you how an effective response and crisis management can safeguard your reputation and get you out even stronger. This is basically the entire purpose of implementing business continuity, crisis management, and resilience. To give the trust to your shareholders, to your stakeholders, to your customers, and also your employees that we as management, we as employees, we as the people, we are capable enough to operate your business and to manage the services which we are claiming that we are doing. Once you have that confidence, once you have that trust, your brand is always going to be on the top, will always be able to attract customers, will always be able to retain the customers and stakeholders and shareholders.